Hello, and welcome to another Thursday hobby stream. Tonight it is myself and Cody.
Hello, hello.
And Cody, you're working on a Warboss, right?
Working on two Warbosses.
What? Wow, Cody.
And
Oh,
welcome
I had my phone volume on. Wow, Cody, why do you get two Warbosses?
Gee, Cody, your mom let you have two Warbosses?
Yeah. Oh, that's another meme idea when it's just you holding two Warbosses and I don't know, Mitchell
There you
looking
go.
jealous. With those are the ones that you had to build power claws for, right?
Yeah, so I got my hands on a couple extra orc copies of Armageddon,
There you go.
and they all just have a power axe or some kind of custom axe. Uh, and they don't have any options, as launch boxes typically don't.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of short on power claw bits, so I busted out some plastic card, and I made a couple.
Yeah. Well, I think they look pretty good.
Yeah, I think they look all right. They turned out better than I expected.
Like
And
every custom
as
build or kit bash, they will look about a billion times better once you have them primed.
yeah, which will happen very shortly.
All right, let's check the chat. Valhalla and Melta pre-gaming, which is fine. That is legal here. You're allowed bring your own pre-game materials. Um, Definitely won't be here for this whole stream every week. I swear. I mean, I'm not your dad or your mom, so do whatever you want. Gonna be waking time to watch the reveal show tomorrow. Yes, yes. Then awake in time for Saturday pre-orders the day after. Yes. We haven't put it up yet, but we will be doing a post-reveal stream where we go over, because when they put Necromunda on the cover, and given the rumors that it's a new Necromunda box, well, actually not rumors, they said it's a new Necromunda box, we will of course be discussing it on,
I feel like we're legally obligated to be there at this point.
pretty much, right? Like, we don't have a choice. Hello, Slurry Dude. Oh, hi, folks. Well, Luca just says, wah. Says your claws look proper killy, which I believe is work for very good.
Thank you.
Country gamers make do. Country, as in this case, stupid GW launch boxes never have all the bits and options. I want to pick up the
Yeah,
Valhallan. Go ahead.
that's the perk of being an orc player is you can just kind of make it, out of whatever.
Orcs are about as forgiving as Necromundas for kit bashing.
Yeah, honestly.
Want to pick up the Valhallan banner on Saturday if it's not Infinity Money? Yes, yeah, that would be very cool. I don't know. A lot of times they haven't been Infinity Money lately with some of that stuff, so hopefully that is the case. I wish you luck. It will probably be very limited because it's a Black Library product, though. I mean, yeah, you're probably legally obligated to get it with that, to hold that username, otherwise it gets taken away from you by someone who did get it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I keep drinking soda. Can't lose my brand.
I'm gonna try to pick that one up as well. Even though I don't really do much guard, but it is my guard of choice.
I will be picking up Kane. He comes with a Valhallan, so that kind of counts, right?
Yeah, I'll also be getting Kane just to paint.
Yeah, I mean, just to have Kane. I do kind of actually like that they made his rules legends, so you don't, because you don't want to see Kane on every table.
Yeah, of course.
Um,
And I mean, like with everything else, you can just run him as a normal commissar.
oh yeah, and you can just stick Jurgen in a squad and just have him just have a Cadian squad with a melted gun and just have Jurgen just be in there. What are they gonna do? Say no? It's a guardsman with a gun. So I'm working on the Zone Mortalis tiles still. I saved myself some time by using masking and spraying for the yellow, which did really work. However, every now and then I got some overspray of yellow under the tape somehow. I don't know how. So I'm currently browning that over so I can then gray dry brush it over to make it go away. Although depending on severity, I might not even gray dry brush it over. I may just like brown it and then work it in with weathering, because screw it. They used extra thick hazard stripes on here and it looks a lot better. Oops, I need to I need to actually, one second, I gotta move my camera because I realize that it is kind of the opposite of where I want to be. So, camera, need to order, move to bottom. Oh, wait. No, that won't work. Move up. Sorry. Technical difficulties, folks. One moment. Camera.
I'm also having technical difficulties.
Oh, uh-oh.
Google logged me out of YouTube, so I gotta pull the stream up.
So you can't see the,
Cannot see the chat.
I might just have to move my camera very physically, actually. Very odd, because for some reason, despite...
Uh-oh. Now it's all borked.
Oh, how so?
You popped my stream over yours for a moment there. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a couple minutes behind.
It's fixed now.
Okay, good.
I had to, screw it, I'm just readjusting my entire camera setup. Because basically I'm operating right here. But that wasn't what was showing up on camera. So Jurgen's the first plastic Valhalla, which means you might get more. I mean, you know, it's one of those things where we probably will eventually, like, they're in the lore and they're not going anywhere, so it kind of behooves them to, at some point, release them, I hope. But then again, there's other stuff that's been in the lore for ages that they never made, so maybe that's vain thinking. Luca, Orcs are really fun to Kipash, but not only. Oh. Sorry, I forgot to make my mic follow me. Sorry, it swung around to my computer and I forgot it. Orcs are really fun to kit bash, not only for the leeway of the ramshackle construction, but since mechs pretty much bash anything together, so can you. Right, it's lore friendly.
Yeah, every orc player is a mech.
Yeah.
Just a big mech.
Amusingly, I usually has this before any Raid in the King books, because I played a Valhalla Arch Militant with the Melted Gun and Road Trader. Yeah, I remember you said that. The fly will by hello before bed from Iron Thumb. Necromunda reveals tomorrow to hype. Yes, we are doing a post-reveal stream on that, where hopefully we'll talk about some really cool reveals, and hopefully not just a single character model. they said it would be a box, so.
But thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for sliding by. Jurgen is more proof that they've done the work updating the sculpts. Maybe. Sometimes they just do one-offs, though. One must be, you know... As 40K would say, hope is the first step on the road to disappointment sometimes. So we must be careful being too hopeful. Dang it, I got stupid guff on my board here. So slop some
I can be green sometimes.
Yeah, it's really weird. He just turns green sometimes. He said it's because he photosynthesizes and, quote, breathes through his skin. And then whenever he tells us that, we are all ashamed of our words and deeds.
And then I go out and lay on the lawn while they record.
Yeah, it's very efficient, actually.
Here's a last look of it. Just white. So we're going to see if Coat of Primer does magic.
Okay. As a guard player, 11 has been really grim so far. There aren't some real changes the first extended hotfix. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's almost always been guard. Like, guard isn't... It's been a long time since guard was really good. And the few times they have been really good, it's been kind of oppressively so, because it's almost due to something that's, like, completely busted, so then they get reined in really quickly. You know, we're not Eldar. We don't get to be good every edition. Although I have no idea if Eldar goes with this edition. I have not played or I don't have any room in my brain for it at the moment.
I haven't really looked at their stats yet. Though if some of the reveal rumors are true, I might be getting it very soon because exobytes are up there.
Hmm.
Just the dragon Eldari.
Right.
Not dragon, dinosaur.
Dinosaur Eldar, yeah. Because they're rumored, right?
Yeah, I don't know how credible the rumor is. But apparently, they're coming to Kill Team first at some point.
And that would make sense. That's the kind of thing that honestly you
Yeah.
do in Kill Team. On Malta, 2 pounds. Got to keep up my dono streak. Keep up the streams. Thank you, sir. Putting together a dragon, the tank, for Cringe Crusade. Excellent. Very orky construction, but with more squiggly bits. Yes, more squiggly, demonic, flamey bits. Which is how I like it. I need to paint my dragon. As in the tank for Cringe Crusade, because we built it and used it. But we kind of, the Trench Crusade just kind of fell to the wayside with 11th edition coming up, because everyone who plays in our Trench Crusade game, or almost everyone, is also playing a lot of 11th edition, so. Okay. And the problem with satin varnishing this yellow before I put it down is that, now nothing wants to stick on top. Which is fine. Weathering will take care of that.
Alright, it's still wet, but I think it makes it look like it was supposed to be there the whole time.
Yeah. Guard is really fun to fight against, aside from a full tank line, so I hope you get a groove back. Yeah. Posted and finished projects. Oh, I will definitely take a look at that. New box announced and won't come out for months tomorrow. Well, we'll see. I mean, especially lately, they've had some real fast turnaround on announcements versus releases, right?
That is true.
It seems like
Some of the last reveals we got like within a week or two.
Yeah.
At least announced for pre-ordered. Got about a month, I guess, at that time.
Yeah, I wonder. Now that part of that might be all the backlog around 11th, so that maybe that could change. But even just knowing what's coming is handy. I have Saloon Crude Gang announcement. I doubt that. And look, no offense to the idea of new stuff, because new stuff would be good, but good heavens, if I have a wish, it's just I want Chaos to get a redo. And, new stuff for it would be great, like some actual sculpts for it would be fantastic. But more than anything, I just want Chaos palettes and all the various accoutrements to get upgraded into an actual book, a modern book, because they need it. And Chaos cults are a really big part of Necromunda. Sad to say, more so than the aliens that might be, present.
I agree, mostly because I have a Chaos Gang.
I don't have a Chaos Gang, but I would like to make one. I just have no motivation to right now with their current rules. I don't feel inspired to. New cults, yeah. Helot's CGC and CGC would be lovely. That would be my goal. A new update for all of those. Book of Ruin 2.0, basically. Flush out Corpse Grinder cults more, but also rein them in a way that they actually feel like they have, more identity. And then just bring everyone else up to speed, because they're not. Book of Jobbers. Is that Bad Moon's color scheme? I'll ask Luca. Is that what you're painting, Cody?
that is most of my orders lately. I do kind of a mixed wa. Like all of my speed freak stuff is gonna be red. But most of my like infantry stuff is bad moons.
Wah,
And then
Mr. Bond.
a little bit of goths here and there. Sorry if my air pressure is too loud.
Oh, you're good. Maintain the biggest problem with CGCs, the initiates. I think it is the combination of the initiates and the way the masks work. The fact that the masks, like, I get what they're going for, but they really do just render you unable to fight them with low willpower, which for certain gangs is just part of their gang identity, and that just, like, that's, you can't do anything is not a fun mechanic, right? Like, you know, pass this check or do nothing is not a fun mechanic. And, that's a problem with, like, Van Sar on open terrain, is just, like, you feel you can't do anything, and that's one of the least fun things to fight. For that, though, you can always just say, well, don't, have more terrain. But you can't really get around. There's nothing you can do to get around that for Corpse Grinder cults. It's, pass a willpower check, or just don't, or just no. And I don't think that's any fun at all. So, the initiates are also a problem. For power level reasons, the initiates are a bigger problem. I do agree. Like, as far as, like, abusability for power gaming, the initiate that's being able to take literally anything is just unheard of. And feels like, honestly, to this day, feels like an oversight more than an intentional mechanic. And we've seen from the Ashwaste, Nomads, and Pal Knights that they are willing to rein things in. For good and for ill, so hopefully they do that. They still have targeting someone else if the check fails. Yeah, I mean, that would be better than nothing. I just honestly think they need to lose that mechanic and have something else. And we've tried playing with a bunch of different versions, and we've not come up with anything that is... doesn't make someone feel bad. Because that's the other problem, is that without that, Corpse Grinders have almost no survivability. Which, honestly, I think that's kind of okay. I really think they should be a glass cannon gang. Like, I think if you're playing Corpse Grinder cults, you should, you should fear getting shot first, and you should just be using clever play. But as it stands, they don't need to hide behind things, and they don't have to. All they do is just walk up, run towards you, and unless you have a good willpower gang, but if you have a bad one, they can just walk up to you with impunity and rely on that save and go, oh, well, nope, nothing about how you played mattered. I just get to kill you now. And that sucks. So.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Initiates also start out with some of the highest average stats base. Yeah, initiates are not, like, they don't feel like initiates. They don't feel like prospects. They feel like gangers. Which is part of the problem. The one Orlock name where you never count as closest target priority? Yeah, that'd be bad. That'd be good. Yeah. Part of it just feels like they were balanced for fighting Enforcers in Dark Uprising. And in that, they are pretty balanced. Kind of. Because Enforcers have kind of all-arounder stats, so they can get away with some of that. But in fighting gangs, it's like, well, you fight against Delok, who have great willpower, and those masks are useless. Unless your opponent completely beefs a roll, which just does happen. But then you fight against Goliath, or heaven forbid, Slave Ogrins, and you're like, well, GG. They have a bigger problem with the initiates. I mean, again, the initiates are almost undoubtedly the bigger problem, power-wise, I'm sure. The masks are just a bigger problem, non-player or negative player experience-wise, and also thematically, I think the initiates don't feel right. Haven't played Pal Knights myself, but fought them a few times now with the proper book rules, and the overall vibe is they succeed in the rework, aside from forgetting Bad Zone Enforcers existed. I don't think they existed. I mean, they do get the short end of the stick, but it feels like they decided when they released Bad Zone, it's like, because when they released Bad Zone Enforcers, they were like, oh, these are the enforcers that have it rough, and they have a hard time, and they're out there with, like, they're supposed to be hard mode enforcers, but due to the due to the way normal enforcers worked, they were actually better and actually easier to play because they had less dumb restrictions that were really annoying and not fun. And it feels like they took that personally when they redid the enforcers. Then they're like, no, Bad Zone enforcers are hard mode. Stop having fun with them. Which, kind of makes sense, but it doesn't feel like they have a different... The one thing I really don't like with the Bad Zone enforcers is making the deputized Hive Scum not count towards your gang, because that really kind of cripples their identity as what they should be, which is, having to utilize all these mooks, because that would be a different play style. And as it is, instead of feeling different, their play style just feels worse. It isn't a different faction, it's purely a hard mode faction without any rewards for it, because it's not like you get extra bodies or anything like that. So, in my opinion.
And when they do like that, there shouldn't be that much sacrifice for fun.
Right.
Or I guess the other way around there. You shouldn't sacrifice fun for that kind of, oh, well, that's the flavor.
Right. It doesn't feel like a flavor, it feels like just being hard mode. You can solve the mask with an item. Blinders, 20 creds, you don't have to take the test. You also get -5 when you shoot. Just horse blinders on you. I like that. It's the masks add 1 to all saves. See, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them, kind of like how Vansar have their armored undersuits. Like, I would be okay with the Corpse Grinders having these metal masks that, like, make them a little bit more defensive. That does feel thematic. They also get cheap bionics for some reason. Who, Vansar? I mean, Vansar have a whole nother problem. Or wait, no, you mean the Bad Zone Enforcers have cheap bionics, right? Yeah, it was something weird like that because they just scavenged them or whatever. That felt like an attempt at making them more flavorful that didn't necessarily pan out.
It's because they confiscate them.
Yeah. Well, Bad Zone Enforcers should be the ones recruiting the worst. Yeah, they should be built up of, like, deputized Hive Scum, who are really just the absolute worst people in existence. That's the only thing worse than a Hive Scum? A narky Hive Scum. Then again, it is said that they often don't get, like, willingly deputized, but rather, like, hey, you work for us now, but I don't wanna. Well, I could shoot you. Okay. Oh, I was about to say, where'd my trash can go? Remember, I covered it up. You pick the Bad Zone assignment, you get free dental. I mean, that make me consider it. Unfortunately, the dental is just someone hitting you in the face with a crowbar.
Can't have cavities if you don't have teeth.
Right. Well, eventually, like, okay, well, what they do is you go, Doc, my teeth hurt, and he goes, wham, and he goes, your teeth still hurt? And you say yes, he just keeps hitting you until you say no, and then you're fixed.
My teeth are fine. It's just the skull and the gums and everything else around it.
Oh, it's not your teeth. And you go, okay, can you fix my skull? And he goes, I'm not that kind of doctor, I'm a dentist. Maybe the mask made them hard to hit. We tried that, like, if you failed, you got, like, a -2 penalty, and what ended up happening was, like, a lot of those penalties, it was too either impossible to get around, in which case it didn't change anything, or it was too easy to get around, which means then the Bad Zone Enforcer, or the Bad Zone Enforcer, the Corpse Grinder Cult player felt like it. So, because yeah, we tried that for a while, which was like, instead of being unable to shoot them. You just got a super malice to shoot them, and functionally, it was a pretty big nerf to the corpse grinders. Which maybe at the end of the day, that's what they need. Maybe at the end of the day, they just need to... Orc Painboy will happily accept your teeth, whether you donated voluntarily or not. Do the orcs in 40k also use teeth as currency?
Yes.
Okay. Because I know that was an old world thing, but I don't know if Age of Sigmar does. I don't think Age of Sigmar does, and I didn't know if 40k still does or not.
I haven't heard it in Age of Sigmar, but yeah, it is in 40k. That's why they like the color yellow, because their teeth are yellow.
Ah.
And teeth is money.
Gotta say, the new Darktide class has me feeling feelings about wanting to paint Mechanicus, which I should not succumb to. Because I don't need to.
Yeah, I watched the trailer for it. I'm like, I don't need it. I don't need it. I
Yeah.
don't need it. I don't need it.
I don't need it! We still use teeth, which is a balanced economy. So yeah, so teeth, because teeth roth over time. So it's a stable currency. So then you have to inject more teeth into the economy. I'm picturing like orc economists just being like, as you can see, the value of our teeth. Making very, very solid business decisions to raid based on like their tooth-based economy.
Yeah.
Skatari names, yeah. Oh god, yeah. The Darktide Skatari names. A lot of them are gold. Everyone's doing Leet speak. At first, I went with Cog Champ, but then I decided to do something a little less that. Okay.
Oh, you did cock champ. You just said leet speak.
Yeah, but I changed it to just soda paints and Leet speak. I know. I just did. I wanted to have more of an identity than internet horny, I guess.
Well, it's the internet.
Fair, but have you ever played Gorka Morka? I have not. Although I've heard good things about it, but
I also haven't, but would like to at some point.
I'm sure the rules are free online somewhere, and we could find them.
Yeah. I got a few of the old vehicles from the Gorka Morka set that I found on eBay. And I painted up a really old truck for my Orktober project a couple years ago. But I've yet to play it.
So Mortalis had rules drop for Horse Heresy recently. It's cool to know they're still supporting his terrain. Yeah, it's interesting because like they don't market any of that on their website as being for Horus Heresy, which they feel like they should. But it also feels like they would market the Into the Dark stuff as being for it, and they don't do that either. I don't know. Is the other Necromunda board gonna have a huge build or something? Yes, this is my this one is going to be I used a Dremel to cut out all of this, and then there's a board underneath it, the MDF board. So yes, I will be doing. I gotta figure out how I want to do it. I'm probably gonna do a resin pour. I'm gonna practice a few times because I've never done one of that size before or that coloring. So I'm gonna practice a few times on something else before I actually do it for realsies. Yeah, it's gonna be toxic waste. I've got bridges to go over the middle, so you kind of can put an objective in there. Keep meaning to put together a looted Lehman Russ. Yeah, I know. Mitchell has not looted Lehman Russes, but Gene Stealer cults Lehman Russes.
Yeah, he's got the Brood Brothers thing going on.
Yeah, that's how he plays guard is Brood Brothers because he's a filthy traitor.
Yeah, I have a Solar Auxilia Lehman Russ that I'm more than likely just going to turn into a looted tank. I really, really wish they would give us the rules back for looted tanks.
Yeah, I get why they don't, because they're trying to keep faction identity and all that stuff, but you can still, like, everything still hits on 5s because orcs are driving it.
Or just make us a kit that kind of looks like the Lehman Russ.
Right. But instead we got that weird, all the Beast Boys stuff, which did not... I don't know. I really like the Beast Snaga boys, but their vehicles did not grab me at all. Fallen also says, "What are your hopes for a new box if that's the announcement tomorrow?" Well, they confirmed it is a new box tomorrow on the stream or on the video. They said it is a new box, so we know it's a new box. My hope is that it is a new starter box that is one of the gangs versus Chaos, and that it heralds a Chaos redo. Because they announced the new box and then also go, but and also here's the book that's coming out alongside it. That's my hope. But even just a new starter box that had 2 current gangs and, like, current rules.
Yeah, I think my hopes are about the same. Again, I really want Chaos Helots in particular, but I want all of them to get some love. But
Right. But all of Chaos Helots need it.
Chaos Helots need it for sure. As far as models go, I still think most of the gangs hold up. Like Corpse Grinder cults are starting to show their age a little bit in their proportions.
Maybe.
But
I don't think any models need redos, personally. No plastic models, anyway.
That's fair. Yeah, like if I was nitpicking, I'd say probably Corpse Grinder cults. But
yeah,
like Goliath, Escher, all the main ones still hold up very well.
And, like, Goliath and Escher are kind of a pain in the butt to put together. You can tell it's an older kit in that way, but at least it looks good.
Yeah.
A second Ash Waste box, but we get Delok versus Chaos, and we get a Delok vehicle. Delok players never forget. Lucas said it's settle for Grot Tank answer. Do they not have the Grot Tanks anymore? Are those gone from the rules?
They are gone from the rules.
Of course, because they were fun. So that means we have to remove them.
Yeah. They were also very oppressive right before they got taken out, so.
Oh.
So they sold off all their stock.
Gotcha. Yeah, very cynically buff it and then get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a shame, because I always liked the idea of the Grot Tank.
Yeah, I wish those would come back and play. I want, honestly, I just kind of want a proper tank.
Yeah, they don't really
any
have
kind
that.
of tank, Grot tank, Orc tank. Like we have. Yeah, I mean they're legends. You can still technically use Grot tanks, but they're not for sale anymore, and they're not tournament legal if that's your jam.
Right. Some of the Goliath poses are a bit rigid. Yeah, some of the Goliath pose does not have a lot of customizability or adaptability or variance. The Escher box is kind of the same way, and that one that is designed to use the chem thrower, that's like all it can do, which is really weird. Yeah, those have that problem in a way that the newer kits do not have. Although the Van Sar kit also kind of has that problem. I actually bought another Van Sar kit very recently. 2 days ago because like I ran out of ability to build what I wanted to build. Yeah, they're not very dynamic, certainly. A racetrack focus box is a Deloc vehicle and a Chaos Aligned icon truck. I don't want to have people's yells, but I don't think we're getting a Deloc vehicle, guys. Starting to sound like a Destiny 2 forum in here.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk bad news,
yeah, that.
I don't know if you heard the news today.
Yeah, a month ago, Sony was like, okay, so we're winding down Destiny 2. And then today, Sony was like, okay, so we're putting Destiny 2 in front of the firing squad, and we're using explosive ammunition that is so powerful, it's also going to hit Marathon, and even people from Sony who were just working support staff for Destiny.
So Destiny 3 is gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they saw the community thing, them doing that thing on that last Thursday where they're like, play Destiny 2 to buff the numbers, and they were like, no, we need to send a message. Make sure they know it's dead. Escher Matriarch is really weird because the leader has to pick between a plasma pistol and the whip, even though they're opposite arms. Yeah, I ended up kit bashing the heck out of that too, because again, that Matriarch is not a very adaptable kit. And yeah, because one loadout doesn't have the coat. Yeah, I used a different one as my Matriarch and just gave her the biggest hair, and was like, this is my Matriarch, because that's how other gangs work anyway. It's like, it's not like there's not one Orlock in the Orlock kit who is marked as being the leader. I mean, on the box they make it the guy with the servo arm, which is great, but you can make any of those guys your leader via painting and other modeling. And that's something they went to afterwards that is a lot better. And thankfully they seem to have known that, because that's how they do all their kits. You do still get exceptions like the Ash Waste one, where it's like the leader is the one who has the mono hook and chain glaive, even though the chain glaive is unwieldy, so you can't wield it with a mono hook. And then they released the Enforcer box, and it's the same way. They like made one guy the sergeant. It's like, okay, but yeah. I get why they do that. It's because for all of us who like to kit bash and do that, there's a lot of other people who like things to be clear cut. You can see what I'm doing here. I'm trying to do that thing where you make those triangle hazard stripes. We'll see if this works or not. I should be just doing this as fast as I can just to get it done, but for some reason I'm doing this the hard way for, I don't know, penance? I know what I did.
You're having fun. What?
Finally saying they got the best range expansion, even if Haunt should probably be Prospects or Boots. Yes, Haunts are in a weird spot, but I actually don't mind it because of it's emblematic of the relationship of Psychers to Helmor's forces. I wish they could level up though, but on the other hand, I also can kind of get that they don't want them to be too powerful, because that's not the gang identity. Question to both the rundown and chat: if you could get a single resin figure, Dramatis or otherwise, as a new plastic kit, what would be your pick? That's hard now, because I would have at one point said the Rogue Doc, just because it was so ubiquitous, but now we have that new Hangers-On kit, which I did buy. I finally bought one. So I'd have to think for a second. What would be my pick? I'm trying to think, what else is in resin that I really wish wasn't in resin? I don't think it would be any of the Dramatis Personae, because they're so not really necessary to play.
I'm gonna say Lady Credo.
Yeah. Huh. I'd like her in plastic just because her stupid servo skulls are like impossible in resin.
Yeah. That's like one of the reasons why I haven't bought her yet.
Yeah.
I was about to buy her during like the Aranthian Succession stuff, but I'm just like, I don't know if I want to deal with that.
I have her. In fact, I have her like right here. Here she is. Hey, you see what's not attached? The other stupid servo skull because it stupid fell apart.
Gotta wait for stream to catch up.
Oh, God. Bone Crushers are just bad. Yeah, Bone Crushers just have bad rules because they have a bunch of telekinetic attacks that hit on their ballistic skill of 5. Sump Beasts? Yeah, well, see, here's the problem is, like, I'm trying to think of, am I saying these things because the kits are bad? Like, the Chimera? The Chimera's an awful kit. Like, I hate the Escher Chimera. And it's their, it's their brute. It should be, it's kind of iconic. But it sucks to assemble, and it doesn't look very good. Same thing with, like, the Fear Cats. They're supposed to be a big part of their identity, and they just suck. Or like the Vansar Cyber Arachnids. They're actually really hard to get. There's only, like, coming to one, so. Lady Credo and Mining Laser Range. There you go. It's one way to end a rebellion. Super glue accelerator is your friend. Oh yeah, no, I didn't have problem gluing them together. The problem was getting knocked around, or just like mine was broken in as soon as I pulled it out of the bag because it just was handled too roughly at some point. And I probably could have sent it back to GW and complained, but I didn't. The kits, yeah, that's the thing, is like the kits being bad is a good reason, but it's not necessarily the only reason you could do something in plastic. You might want to pick something that would be better in plastic for accessibility. Which is why, again, I would have said like the Rogue Dock or the Ammo Jack, because those being in plastic means they're super accessible. And again, we could always kit bash them, as we often did. I have, I think, like 3 kit bashed Ammo Jacks, because at one point I was running an Orlok gang that had like 3 Ammo Jacks. I needed more.
It's a lot of ammo jacks.
I mean, they stack. That one Ridge Hauler variant? Ugh, God, no. First off, I forgot about that dang thing.
Probably the scout vehicle then, even though it looks really cool, and I'm sure like a big vehicle's fine, but that thing costs like what, $200-$300, something like that.
Yeah, the Scout Explorator.
Yeah.
The squat one, yeah. And I guess that's one that is also hard to kit bash. Although you could just use a land fortress. That's Thana.
I will be using a Dracosan whenever I get back around to running squats.
Yeah.
That's the Malcador transport from Solar Auxilia.
That makes sense. That's because, Secundus is so cynical in this regard. I love Secundus as a campaign for almost everything, but the fact that if you're playing a non-Malstrain gang, you basically have to have a rig is just so, like, make them buy a rig. I think Kevin was talking about, oh no, I'm going to use my trikes. Instead, I'm going to have to tell him, unless you're playing Malstrain squats, you have to have an Ash Waste rig, which is really weird. Though we could probably house rule that. I don't think anybody would object to bringing something else besides an Ash Waste rig.
Right.
CGC upgrade sprue. Wouldn't it be nice to not be resin? Yeah, that's the other thing, is like there's a lot of the upgrade sprues I'd like to see. I'd like to see a lot of the champion and upgrade sprue kits consolidated. Because, I think Escher has like 2 or 3, Vansar has like 2 or 3. I would like to see them consolidated into one plastic kit each. That would be nice. because that's, you know, actual gameplay focused. And it does vary on the army which ones are worth getting or not. Like the Escher plastic one is really good, and you actually don't really even need the resin one, although I think it is the only source of an Escher grenade launcher. But on the flip side, I think the Van Sar plastic one is not very good, and the resin ones are where all the a lot of that stuff that's really good is, which really sucks.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the Palanites range expansion is like kind of like the
Template?
what they're gonna go. Yeah, the template for everything going forward.
Yes, like a a box specifically for leaders and champions.
Yeah, and then just the extra stuff that they got
Right.
as well.
Yeah, I agree. If they went back and did that for every gang, I wouldn't be sad. You know, because they love giving us more stuff to buy, and then I think that would be good, more stuff to buy that isn't like abusive. Do you know what you get in the Goblin box? I do not know what I get in the Goblin box. Yeah, again, Luca, that's the same reason I hate the upgrade sprues being resin, because good luck kit. I mean, you can kit bash with resin, you know. It's just a pain in the butt, and it's not fun, and I hate doing it. I did do it. This little guy right here has a resin Van Sar plasma pistol that has been kit bashed onto his hand, and, you know, someday that'll probably fall off. The Goblin team box is 12 regular Goblin linemen. Now, I don't know enough about Blood Bowl, but I'm guessing you need more Goblins than that. Or different Goblins. Grouplins. Everything else in resin sold separately. Oh, ugh, yuck. Gross.
Is that the Snotling team?
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what he means is the Snotling team. But, you know, haha, that's supposed to kind of be a joke, but even so. So are the gnomes, and they have a better box than that. I have no idea why my paint is streaking this much tonight, but it really is. Blood Bowl is 11 aside, and the box is 12 of the worst guys in the game, and none of the extra crap that are the reason you play Goblins. Gotcha. So it's a starter kit, basically. Oh, man. I had ice cream today that was so good I am still thinking about it.
Oh,
So, have you ever seen the Crystal Springs stuff in, like, Martin's? The milk? Well, they're local. They're actually around here, and that's part of my other work, I got to see their dairy this week. And then while I was there, I got some of their ice cream, and oh man, it is so good. It's like some of the best ice cream I've ever had. And I got to see it being made and then eat some. And I can't eat a lot of ice cream because I'm kind of lactose intolerant, but I made an exception for this, and it was worth it.
yeah, I was gonna say I should check that out later with copious amounts of medication.
Yeah, get some lactate or something like that. Yeah, you can go down to their thing and you can actually look through a window and see them bottling the milk and all that stuff. And then I took a couple pints home with me,
Cool.
which I can't eat a lot at once because it will like make me, die, metaphorically. But I'm gonna eat it very slowly over time. I got their vanilla, and then I got butter brickle, which if you've never had butter brickle ice cream, it is like buttery ice cream and then toffee, and it's delicious.
Hmm.
Snotlings are a different team with the secret weapons in it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Huh, I didn't realize those were two different teams. The
Neither did
Snotling
I.
has 20 guys and the big pump wagons. Yeah, I know the Snotling pump
Hmm.
wagons from Total War Warhammer, where they're very irritating to fight against when Grom is using them. And I'm playing Eltharion, and I'm just trying to get the people off the flippin' donut, and then Grom shows up with 40 Snotling pump wagons, and he's like, wah! And I'm like, oh, god dang it. Screw you, Grom the Pouch.
Glad I didn't choose those teams when I played Blood Bowl.
That's like getting a Necromunda house box full of hive scum. And nothing else. I mean, I would love that box, however. I like hive scum. I would like to see more hive scum, honestly, but they don't. That's just a me thing, because I just love painting hive scum. I should just suck it up and just get a bunch of cultists or whatever. I need to go to the store and mine it for, like... I did put in an order, and Cody, you might have noticed, I did put in an order for one of the Chaos battle boxes.
I did not see that.
Because I am going to sell the Venom Crawler to Mitchell. I've always wanted a Lord Discordant. I can offload the Legionaries on eBay very easily, and probably the Obliterators, and I want those 20 cultists, because those are going to be the start of whatever Necromunda Chaos stuff I do.
Nice.
But it's one of those things where it's like, I really want the cultists, and I've always wanted a Lord Discordant, just because I think it's one of my favorite models for an army I don't play.
Yeah, it is a very cool model.
So, fun fact, I did some research about hazard stripes. And hazard stripes, there aren't actually like a bunch of different hazard stripes that mean things, but hazard stripes do mean things. It's based on where they point. Luca says it's only 3 a.m. Better hit the bed. Have a great stream, y'all. Thank you, Luca. Go. Yes, do indeed go to bed. Have a good night and a good sleep.
Have a good one. Okay.
But the way hazard stripes point is the way you're supposed to go to be safe, which I am of course completely ignoring for Necromunda, because like I figure that's the joke. Like I should probably put something very dangerous. Oh wait, I've got it flipped around so you guys can't see it. There you go. Like I've got these arrows
not
pointing.
a point like that, then where are you supposed to go?
Exactly. Like I'm gonna have it point towards something terribly dangerous. I'll put an explosive barrel right here.
That's great.
Settlement box with a dozen hive scum, a rogue doc, an ogre, and an ambot, a beastmaster, and a hive trader. Oh, there you go. Sorry. I know we made a joke earlier. Was that last stream? I can't remember. We made a joke about a Necromunda dating sim. It would just be that.
I don't remember that, so I think it was last.
I think that would have been Sunday. Because, it'd be like one of those joke dating sims that Steam is full of now.
Yep. Bird dating sim or whatever it was.
Had a full boyfriend. Yeah, I remember. I've never played that. I don't think I've ever actually played a dating sim. They're very much not my type of game. But cultural osmosis means I do remember Had a Full Boyfriend. And because I play it, I do got advertisements for there's a Pal World dating sim coming out.
Oh, that's terrible.
It is marked as horror on the tags. Yes.
Hmm.
Let's get
Dome Runner game would be really cool.
Yeah, the Dome Runner is a really cool model that I have that I want to I haven't built yet because I want to convert it to use something else. But that really cool skull mask that she's got. You must choose the eligible bachelor to confirm your house line. Escher Death Maiden, Ogre Tyrant. Yes, that was it. I remember you made that joke. Yeah. Maybe that was in the Discord. Dang it, I can't remember where it was, but yeah, we made that joke last time. It's like And the joke would be that all of them just kill you. There is no romance scene. You just die.
There's no romance scene. I just want to die.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not gonna shame anybody. I'm sure some people would be into it anyway. Jenny Stubfist Jenny. Okay. All right, moment of truth. Let's take it off and see what it is.
Tender lover or tenderizer
I
lover?
was about to make that same joke, dang it. Equipped with a renderizer. There we go. Now, from a distance on camera, this looks really clean. Up close, there's a few parts that I'm going to have to cover up with some weathering. But I'm okay with that. The big fan of 11 herbs and spices. One of the Hive Scum guys has a terrain piece that is, you know, what is it? Hive guys, Grox burgers, and fries. They always have it at Adepticon. So I would love to. I need to make a Primus fried chicken or something like that. It wouldn't be chicken. It would be Primus fried. Oh, I don't know. What else would they eat? Something. There we go. Look at those. Go this way, and then you put an explosive barrel right here, or trap.
Not Red Hulk. Trying a painting tutorial that I saw online where you base coat them in a dark red, and then you kind of build up from there to kind of give them like the warm, fleshy undertone.
Yeah, that is I used to. Oops. That was always my favorite thing to paint to prime people in was Vallejo red brown, and then I ended up like kind of hating it because the Vallejo airbrush primer is really cloggy. Clogs my airbrush like nothing else. So I, swapped back to other things. But now I have found this flat red primer. So I primed. Here, let me zoom in on the action for you guys. Come on. Oh, that is the opposite of focusing. There we go. So I've got her primed in that red brown, or this just flat red from Krylon. So this is gonna be my new go-to primer. And yeah, this kit bash really came together after I primed her, because it always does. Deloc refuel station with a big squid mascot. No, they sell calamari. You know, the squid's got to go somewhere after they've outlived their usefulness to the Deloc, right?
So I would be opposed to a red orc. I have a purple orc and a jade orc.
You got the orc coating the Technicolor orc coat.
Yeah.
Roasted rabbits on sticks feels like a snack you can grab in the Underhard Market. I believe it canonically is. I'm pretty sure there's flavor text in some of the books about like roasted people selling roasted like rats that they find. But yes, doing a little themed restaurant for each of the gangs. That's a joke of like, you ever see Demolition Man with the franchise wars? So all restaurants are Taco Bell.
Yes.
It'd be like that. All the gangs try and get into food as a new avenue. To
I remember
wage.
the one I made for Starbucks.
I mean that could be the Deloc, because Deloc Starbucks, and then like because the mermaid, instead of the mermaid, it's their squid
Yeah.
thing, or Van Sar.
Yeah.
But Deloc, you could just call it Squid Bucks.
I don't remember what I made. Dang.
And Forces run a donut shop. Oh, I mean, yeah. Or pork. Well, they wouldn't run the donut shop. They would just always patronize the one donut shop run by Hive Scum. Krispy Kreme. I want donuts. But I don't need to buy donuts. Store locks, store or locks, because the roads run on recraft. There you go. Yeah. Well, Cawdor would definitely be like a flame grilled burger place. Or would Cawdor be a Chick-fil-A joke because of all the religious affiliation?
Yeah. I think
That's the great thing, is any of the jokes
something
works.
fiery though. It's gotta be like spicy chicken.
Yeah. Any news on when the campaign is starting? No, not right now. We are in the throes of figuring of where we've been doing a bunch of 11th edition stuff because that's the very timely, but also using that as proof of concept for making sure we can film our battles in a way we like, which I believe Mitchell and Kevin and Cody did today. So we got to make sure that because the road rules thing was one thing, and that was very fun and very successful. But filming, that had some advantages because we were only filming from one angle, and it was a race, so everyone's headed the same direction, and there's no real terrain. So we got to make sure we nail
Yeah,
out
I
how
don't
to
think
do
our
that.
board size was quite correct either.
Right. Oh, it was only like a few inches off.
Well, in a campaign, that might matter.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Not
Flaming
that I
hot
really
wings. Yeah, oh
care.
yeah.
That would
Cawdor
be,
is like the. I was about to say wings, etc., but I know that's in the Midwest. I don't know how.
I think that's very local.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's like 5 of them, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think. I think the furthest one is Indianapolis,
Okay.
if they've even made it down there.
So I guess what's the nation? I guess Wingstop would be the nationwide wing chain, wouldn't it?
Or Buffalo Wild
Or
Wings.
Buffalo Wild Wings, yeah. I was just thinking wings, etc., because they have that wall of flame thing where they have those super super hot wings, and if you eat them, you get your picture taken and put on the wall.
I think Buffalo Wild Wings had one of those a long time ago, back before they were corporatized.
Yeah. I do kind of want wings now. Kind of want to go Buffalo Wild Wings. I could go for some Buffalo Wild Wings. Get myself some of that desert heat. Dry rub.
Crawdor.
Crawfish is Crawdor. Oh,
They just make a mean seafood boil.
unfortunately, that puts them in trouble with the lock. For the Road Wars Rooks. Oh yeah, you really need. Yeah. So fun fact for the mics on the Road Wars bat rep. We did have lav mics, and they betrayed us. So we had to use the backup shotgun mic. But yeah, we do have lav mics that normally Cody can dial in because I talk louder than everybody else, among many other problems. But no, the lav mics betrayed us, and we had to go back, fall back on the one shotgun mic we had, because otherwise, if we had used the lav mics, it would have been a nightmare of peaking. So yeah, that is.
Now that I would say I'm good at dialing those in, they have often betrayed us when we tried using them.
Yeah. Now, did you guys?
Audio engineering's not my strong suit. We did use the laughs today, though.
Okay, and they worked okay. That's good. Yeah, audio. None of us are audio engineers, so we're learning as we go, and that's one of the things we want to nail down before we do a campaign, because in Necromunda and any battle report video like that, with the Road Warriors thing, it was kind of, you kind of wing it a little bit because it's a little more casual. But with a Necromunda campaign, we want to make sure everyone can hear what the heck we're saying and going on, because what skills everyone has and all that stuff is a little important.
And I mean, it'll be a little easier too with only having 2 people on the mics, but
That is true.
just the recommended settings that I could find and set up online before the fact was very not true in our case.
Very hot, yeah.
And also just with working with everybody's schedules and stuff like that, we don't have a lot of time to like do a lot of testing, unfortunately, and so it's mostly just me testing in the studio, and I just happen to be the most quiet person on the crew, so when it sounds good when I'm talking,
It
it's
blows the
very
mic out when
different.
Josh is talking, because
Yeah,
I'm a loudmouth.
and I even tried to adjust for that, knowing that that's what I was going into, and it's still, yeah.
Well, I think on that one, on the road thing, it was everyone was just peaking like crazy, right? It was just a nightmare of.
Yeah,
They
pretty
were
much.
they were all completely overblown, which is like. Yep.
And
So
it's just also a case of like we're playing a game that we all get excited about and stuff like that. Like you can set it to like
yeah,
having a normal talking voice, which is usually what those lab mics are for, is like presentators or people doing like view channels and stuff like that, where they're all just talking in a normal tone like this. But like, then we throw and we need to save on a 6 and we roll that 6, or like, we need a 1 to fail and then we roll that 1 and then everybody's just like, oh, and like everybody goes crazy. Yeah, the lab mics aren't really built for that. Like, they don't have a really good compressor, I think is the technical term. Whereas like our pod mics that we're using in like just our regular podcast style, those have a lot more protection for that kind of
right.
excitement, which is weird because those are the stationary mics.
Speaking of, you are sounding robotic, and I don't know if it's my Discord call or what.
Might be an internet thing.
Right. I'm gonna really quickly hang up the Discord call. Don't worry, streamers on the stream, you guys are just gonna see Cody drop for a second, and then I'm gonna reboot him. So I'll be right back. 1 second.
Okay, how do I sound now?
Keep giving me some lines.
Some lines, some lines, some lines.
I think it's better.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was just my internet. I did reset it before I did it, but And also, it's possible just it's only me who is hearing that, because it's coming out my speakers. Could be my speakers, but okay. Well,
Yeah, Valhalla was He's saying that. So
Yeah, sounds good to you.
There
Yeah, you guys are what matters. And I can still understand you. It wasn't like the super robot thing that happens when you're, something's really wrong.
The AI data centers are getting to me.
They saw you talking crap.
Mm-hmm. They knew I joined the Pope's crusade.
I would like to go as a Skitari 1 year to Adepticon, but that's not an easy cosplay to pull off.
That's one of those ones that could either be really easy or really hard, depending on how much you want to put into it.
Yeah, and if you're just doing the red robe, that's not too hard. But if you want to like actually do all the bits and mechanical bobs and stuff like that, that's actually, oh dear.
Yeah. Like I think the guys we saw that 1 year, they were just like they had like the steampunky goggles
Yeah, they were,
and red robes.
which was great. Theirs was
Yeah.
sold more by the signs they were carrying.
Yeah, ChatGPT is heresy. And then they had like little cogs and gears that they were just handing out to people. Jesus. Yeah, that's some devotion to some cosplay if I ever
Stay
heard
out
it.
there. Into the skin cancer's terminal. Uh, well, I mean, that thing, it doesn't matter, because then you got to cover it up with the robes. That's, that would get me red,
Well,
but
just double dip and then you can go as Van Sarth next day.
yeah. Okay. Now again, if I didn't, hate myself, I would just do all these in the same direction, but I'm going to have them be basically I want them to be confusing because it's funny. So if they're all pointing different directions, that means there's nowhere safe to go per the lines, which I think
Yeah.
is the most Necromunda thing. Also, I think if you're in this room and there's a lever on the outside and someone pulls it, it should just fill with gas. Unless you have a respirator, you just die. Yes, Valhalla Melt, I have seen those pictures. It is terrifying and makes me paranoid when I'm driving and there's sun on the left side. It's like, am I going to get weird on one side now?
I had a weird tan like that a couple weeks ago because I was at our store painting the train to get ready for 11th edition 40K. And I was apparently standing facing in one direction the whole time because I had like a really nasty sunburn on one side of my neck, but my other side was fine.
You end up looking like Two-Face, covered in paint.
Basically. So don't ever let anyone tell any of you that painting is not an outdoor activity.
It can be. I think we all know it can be, because, you gotta... Unless you use purely airbrush, which I used to, but then I got lazy. Have you considered hazard stripes that all point to each other? I was originally thinking about doing them all in, like, point those arrows, but honestly, I don't... That is a really funny idea. I do not want to put that much effort into it, because that would take me hours and hours to do that tape correctly. So I'm kind of halvesing it, because at the end of the day, I do want to get this done, because this is kind of one of the things our campaign is contingent on, is getting our Zone Mortalis done. Although we're gonna, if we do Secundus, we won't end up using any of this until the halfway point. But we'll probably start with some one-off bat reps for Necromunda. do some skirmish.
We kind of talked about like making up little scenarios and stuff like that, so it wasn't just like basic starting gang versus basic starting gang.
Yeah.
Fun little stuff like that that we can come up with as we go.
Where'd I put it? There it is. Need to figure out terrain for the waste, honestly. Yeah, we just kind of use 40k terrain. It's not perfect, but it's there. We have it. You know?
That ash waste box is still calling my name.
I mean,
I
if
might
you...
not have much longer to buy it.
Oh, why? Is someone else going to buy it, or you think there's going to be another box?
Well, I mean, a new box is about to come out. Well, a new box is about to be announced.
Well, to be fair, we've had Secundus out for ages. And
That is true.
the Ash
That
Waste
is
box
true.
didn't disappear. I think it's still on GW's website, because I mean, the box in our store could just be there for years and years and years, right? Like,
Yeah. Ash waste isn't on GW site anywhere. I think this is still on there.
yes,
But
Secundus
the
still
other
is.
one is the the current starter box, whatever it's called.
Hive War.
Hive War, that's it.
The one we really don't like because it has incomplete rules.
I wish I had bought it like a couple of years ago. I seen it on Amazon for like $140, and for people not in the US, it's currently like 310. Like that's the MSRP on it.
Wait, you
So
saw
like,
Ash Waste for 140?
yes, on
Oh,
Amazon, and I'm
you.
like, I was like, I don't need any extra plastic right now. It's a
Oh.
good deal, but it'll sit around. And now I'm just like, you are stupid, and you should have done better.
Well, not to side with your current Cody against past Cody, but past Cody was stupid. He just didn't
I
know.
agree.
I think at the time we didn't know what Necromunda would become for us, you know? We just knew we liked it a lot.
I think that was right around when I started playing.
Well, and you know, like, the first year I went to Adepticon, I saw the Dark Uprising box for like 150 bucks. And now,
Yeah,
if
I
you,
remember. It was in that one guy's
yeah,
vendor.
and now if you even see one, it's like, what, 350 at least? Because it's got all the terrain and the two gangs. Ugh. So I have those moments too of kicking myself going, dang. Yeah, Dark Uprising, I did not start playing Necromunda until right around Dark Uprising, so I wasn't gonna buy it because it's like, that's a little much for my first, getting into this gang. Because I also at the time, and still kind of this day, I didn't really like either of the gangs much. I didn't really care for Enforcers. I like Enforcers now better than I did, but even then they're not one of my favorite gangs. And visually, I've just never been a Corpse Grinder Cults fan. Actual terrain instead of cardboard at 5 doors, yeah. Which, I don't hate cardboard because it means it's more affordable to get in and start playing. Which is what I want for, people who want to play Necromunda, because that's one of the big problems with Necromunda. It's not a cheap game to start. Yeah, Dark Uprising by itself is not quite enough for a 2x2. Well, it's a darn good start. Need to buy another box of Xeon Walls. Yeah, I mean, it's just always such a hard prospect. Because it's not cheap. Of course, there are alternatives. They're not quite the same. Is that genuine GW plastic? Yeah, and we have a ton of Galadark as well, so we've kind of thought about repurposing it. The big problem, I mean, maybe not problem, the big downside to Galadark is that there's almost no way to integrate verticality
Yeah.
without a heck of a lot of really weird terrain kit bashing. Um, so that's kind of the big downside to it. That, and even more so than normal Zone Mortalis, because the stuff sticks together so weirdly, you almost have to glue it down. But I realized the other day, because I bought the boxes for the kill teams, which I do love, I have 3 boxes of Galadark.
Same.
I should really, and only one of them's assembled. So I should really assemble that and like try and use it for something, or sell it, I guess. Hey Cody, you want to buy some Galadark?
Oh, I also have 3.
Darn it! This is the problem when all your friends have the same addictions as you. The same problem, which is I must collect all the things for this game I play.
Did manage to build and paint 2, though.
Yeah, you're farther ahead than I am. I only built one and didn't even paint it. And it's the exact same reason I have all my Galadark stuff. I mean, I don't regret getting the teams. They're really cool teams, even though I don't use them enough. Okay, put you down here. I am regretting putting so much hazard stripes on these boards. I didn't need to, but I did, for reasons. I was like, oh, it's so cool, and it's so, emblematic me Necromunda to put all these hazard stripes on here. And it is. And I'm sure once it's all done, I will not regret it. But right now, I am kind of regretting it. Yeah, it's a lot of kill team terrain, Valhong. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I saw that the Volcus, we had a box of Volcus terrain at the store, and I was kind of like, I could have put together and paint another Volcus. That was really fun, and I really like that terrain. But no, no more. I decided to buy a Secundus box instead, save my money, right? In my defense, it's got the rulebook in there. And also Tech Hunters, which I wanted.
And some spires.
Yeah. Although when I play Secundus, even if I do play Vansar, because I still have not nailed down which one I'm actually playing, because it seems like we're a little ways out. I want to figure out what other people are playing too. I will not be running an incursion gang, so I will not be having a Spire leader. Mostly just because it's such a pain in the butt points wise, because they're so expensive.
Yeah, I considered doing my stupid Scryers meme that I told you guys about when we did Necromunda Racing.
Oh, right.
Where they're all just AI robots that are named the same exact thing.
I mean, it'd be funny. But I was reading all the rules for Secundus, and it's really kind of brutal. Like, not being able to restock anything, having a negative starting at a -2 to trade and only getting worse from there. Like, it kind of feels like a campaign where you're supposed to front load your stuff. Because you're not going to have a chance to build up later. But on the flip side, if I do that and then have too few guys, and that means I get raffle stomped in the beginning, then I'm not going to be able to recover, because recovering is even harder than usual. So, I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence of what to do.
Yeah, I am interested to see how that works.
So man, the Spires box didn't have both weapons option for each suit. It's very strange, that box is. I've got it. Future you will appreciate that you past use a dick for making you do it. Pretty much. That's most of my life at this point. Past Josh is a real jerk. Yeah, Pure Spires are very good. But the Incursion gang, where you have a Spire leader and then a normal gang, that's what I'm a little more dubious about. The Spire part I'm not worried about, but the rest of the gang, which still does run on credits as normal, a little more concerned about how they will act.
I was going to do the full gang if and when I do it.
The full Spire gang or the full?
Spire.
Yeah. So you're thinking full Spires for Secundus? That does sound fun.
I mean, it's up there on my list. I was thinking either Escher, Spires. I don't even remember the other ones. I was thinking maybe also Van Sar, but I only have the Tech Hunters. In the other corner, I have all I need to make an Ashways gang, so maybe Ashways.
Oh, Nomads?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's kind of a fun lore thing. Is like, why are the Nomads going into High Secundus?
My thinking was that maybe they've been going in there for a long time since it got blowed up.
Yeah, like then, or like they probably know it better and can, or just are looking the same reason everyone else. They're looking for the tech, just different applications for it.
For different reasons, but
and I was thinking, mine are Vansar, which if you do Vansar, that's just Vansar. I thought of also doing my vendors because then the idea is they would be hunting somebody in the hive who's escaped the Secundus, right? Like somebody ran to Secundus and is like, "Oh, we gotta go get him."
that's a cool idea. Like that.
Either they're hunting the main guy himself, which of course won't work out because you can't find and kill him. So maybe they get there and just like decide to cut their losses, grab some data crystals, and let's get the heck out of here.
Yeah, there's a lot of different fun ones, or things I think would be fun.
I do want to do Spires at some point, however, they're very much not my normal playstyle. I usually do not gel with super elite gangs like that. Or super elite armies or anything like that. I'm much more of I'm a threat saturation guy. As I've said before, I like having lots of different things that they all die easily, but you can't kill all of them. That's why I play guard so much.
Yeah, I don't think I've really played any like super elite armies. Like I have a Knights army for 40k, but I haven't played it yet.
Oh, you got your Stampas, your Stampa army.
I do have my Stomps. I did. That was my first time playing them.
How did that go?
11th edition terrain is not very kind to Stompas.
Ah.
Because whereas they can move over it, that's not the problem. It is the not being able to stand on it is the problem. And it's so kind of dense in the middle now that there's not many footprints. So if your like enemy is anywhere near those footprints, you can't just walk into engagement range. And if you fail charges, which I did.
Ah.
Yeah, you're not going very far. I mean, it was a close game. Like, we obviously had to pack up early because there's only a couple hours.
Right.
But if I would have got my full turn 3, like I played out turn 3 in my head, like I drew the cards that I would have, drawn, and I would have been able to score them. So I think I would have lost by only 2.
That's
Close
not bad.
game. So yeah.
That was what I always liked about the newer editions of Age of Sigmar. Is even when you lost, it often felt very close. So if they've captured that in 11th edition, I'm a very happy camper.
That is what I'm seeing. Is that kind of
Good.
seems to be the case. So and that's why I like Spearhead so much. Well,
Right.
one of the reasons why I like Spearhead so much is even if you lose, it's often usually only by a couple points.
Yeah, Spearhead's the master of it. I haven't played normal Age of Sigmar enough to know if it is still that way. But I remember that that's how it used to be. Is whenever I lost, which I usually did, but it still felt like I had kind of always had a fighting chance.
Mm.
Billion Rickers in a leader with Mentor was real fun. They scale fast. Rookies with shotguns, always good.
Yeah, and I did get some of the new enforcers, so that one's on the table as well.
Yeah, I've not played New Forces at all, and I have the Haunts because I just really like that model.
Yeah.
That might end up as a Venator. Just
Yeah.
unchanged, but using different rules. Or I could do an Outcast gang led by a Haunt. I've done Outcast so much, though, I kind of want to do something different.
Yeah, that's why I'm not playing squads. I mean, I guess I've only truly ran 3 campaigns at this point, and 2 of them were squads.
Yeah. A Nomad's list that's completely mounted. Yeah, I mean, that sounds very like how kind of Nomads almost want to be, especially in the Ash Wastes. Like, everyone's got a bug. You get a bug. You get a bug.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be really bad once you got to Secundus?
Oh yeah, I think he meant probably for Ash Waste campaign, not for
Oh, I see.
not for Secundus. Yeah, because that would be awful. I mean, not necessarily because everyone would just lose their mounts, as long as it wasn't all that one prospect that can only be mounted.
Oh, that's fair, I guess.
Because you can mount you can mount everybody on the bugs. You just have to buy them. It's like a Wasteland dirt bike.
True.
And despite playing Escher a few times, I've never played with the jet bikes. So I kind of want to do that at some point, but I don't even own them. The resin mounts are incredibly unpleasant. That Stormcaller, I hated it. I actually sold that guy. I sold almost all of my Ash to Waste buggies because I just hated playing with them. They weren't my playstyle, and also the resin modeling was just that was one of the worst kits. And it's a new kit, but it's just so flimsy. Prospects in the alt champion. Yeah, that alt champion is the one the Wideri Stormcaller is the one I do not enjoy building. Alright, look at all this fresh hazard stripes. Warning you that nothing in this, because this is, going to be the room. Nothing in this room is safe. If you are in here, you are going to die. Meanwhile, me messing with recap metal minis. I hate metal minis a lot less than I used to. Although it depends a lot on the mini. Because some metals are actually really good. And some metals make me want to play Sudoku.
I have yet to paint a metal mini.
Well, the problem with painting metal minis is that if you don't varnish the absolute bejesus out of them, you will be repainting them soon enough.
I do have a Captain Badrock coming eventually. I don't even know when that order is supposed to come in.
Yeah, I saw the made-to-order baby dragons today, and I was like, well, because I'm getting those. Because those are adorable. But, you know, they're made to order, so I'll probably forget I ordered them by the time they get here.
Yeah.
Which is great. It's like a nice little surprise to myself. It's like, oh, who ordered me this package from Games Workshop? Yeah, I used to hate metal
paid
minis.
for it, so like it's already like out of your mind.
Yeah, I used to hate metal minis a lot, and I've kind of really gotten over that. Because some of them are just very characterful, especially the old Warhammer metal minis. But also some of them are really bad, and some of them just have a absurdly terrible assembly.
Yeah, I have a box of really old Raul Partha D&D minis
Oh yeah.
that I got from my step uncle when he was cleaning out his shed from God knows how long ago. They're all actual lead, so
Oh, well, don't breathe it, I
probably
guess.
need to wear gloves and a breather when before I prime them.
Yeah, farming. I've not dealt with recasting stuff. Sometimes I want to, especially for old stuff you can't get anymore. Okay. Uh-oh, that one's not going to work. Here we go.
Don't know where I reorganized my GW contrast paints to, so
Oh, there you go.
this weird paint scheme that I'm working on, I cannot find my green.
Oh, that's not good. Never mind. I was like, oh, that's cool. Reorganized. I was like, oh wait, never mind. See, that's why all my stuff is a mess. I know exactly where it is. You know.
Yeah, I need to stop organizing.
My room's not a mess, Mom. It's just organized my way.
The floor is a shelf.
Yeah, and a hamper.
Put it in a job box somewhere because I'm preparing for when one step comes out, and it's not coming out fast enough.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do we know when? I thought that was out, but just not to our distributors and stores and stuff. I guess.
Yeah, basically, like you can. I'm pretty sure you can order it from Monument.
Oh, you can. Their website crashed for it.
Oh,
Yeah, no, people were really hyped about this.
but our store usually gets Monument stuff kind of late.
Yeah, the fact we hadn't yet is what kind of weirded me out. But I'm not in a huge rush for it, because it'll just kind of be another tool in my toolbox. I don't tend to use them as one-steps anymore.
I typically don't either. I just wanted to try a painting technique that I saw online.
But yeah, sometimes I do, and they are handy for other just like technique stuff. Like, I mean, again, I could probably use a lot of those for weathering, you know?
Right.
And as my contrast paints run out, I probably will not buy them again. I will probably try and find equivalents in Army Painter or Monument because it's just a lot cheaper for volume, you know?
True.
No offense to Citadel paints, but if another paint does exactly the same thing and it's cheaper, I will usually go for that.
Hmm.
On the flip side, there's other paints that I don't. Uh, don't want to replace because I haven't found anything that does it quite as well. Something like Rhinox Hide, you know, Rhinox Hide from GW is still my favorite weathering sponge paint. And I know there are other purplish browns out there, but none of them have ever been quite the same. Yeah, Valhalla and Melta, you're on track to make a liar of yourself again because we only got 20 minutes left in the streams. But if you log off 5 minutes ahead of time, you can still say you weren't here for the whole thing. Making myself some scran before bread. Scran before bread, scran before bed. I think I'm just hungry. Oh god, here's the most bachelor sentence ever. I finally have a fridge with a freezer. Because for the longest time I was just running off of an old mini fridge that I had from college, which was Chex Notes 14 years ago I bought that. And it finally conked out. So I was like, okay, I better get a fridge, and I got an actual fridge with actually has a freezer compartment.
Fancy.
Yeah, so I can I bought, you know, got some chicken burgers in there now. Ooh. Well, it's got a actual freezer, you know, a separate freezer because the other one had a freezer compartment, but you know
Yeah.
those never
They
work
either
well.
didn't work or they worked too well.
That was what would happen is that like that fridge just froze everything. Like I could never have milk. Not that I ever drank a lot of milk anyway, because again, intolerance. But I would never have milk because any milk in there would just freeze. Unless I turned it
Yeah,
down
I had a
so
mini
much.
fridge for a while, and yeah, it had an option to turn it off, and I eventually just turned it off because it was. I'd have like soda in there in the bottom, and it would explode.
Yep. Yeah, single compartment mini fridges are not great. I mean, they're fine for a college kid.
Yeah,
Chest freezer. Yeah, I did think about getting a chest freezer, Dick Moosey, but I did need the fridge component too. I will probably get a freezer one of these days because those are really handy. Because yeah, anything you know, bulk chicken goes on sale at the store, and you're like, oh, I'm not gonna eat all that. But if you have a chest freezer, you just go, bam, I'm gonna eat that later.
that's what me and my wife do. We shop at Costco despite only being two people, but we just buy in bulk, and then we live off of it for a while.
Yeah, freeze it up, and then boom, save yourself a lot of money that you can then spend on Warhammer.
Yeah, so you get
Yeah, oh, I mean, yeah, I know how that game works.
it.
You know, I didn't put myself into debt for that Secundus box I just bought. I've been saving for a while. I saved it up kind of for 11th edition, and then I realized that I kind of have everything I want for 11th. So and the core rules were so cheap that I was like, well, I'm not getting the launch box, and I've got the money I saved for the launch box, and I'm ahead on all my payments, so I can splurge a little bit with something that I know will be handy for me and the channel and everything.
Go for a good hot dog right now.
It's been a real hot minute since I had a hot dog.
I don't have them nearly enough. And speaking of Costco, every time I go in there, I'm like, I should get a hot dog,
You should get a $1.50 Costco hot dog.
but I don't.
What's the one quote from the CEO? If you raise the price of the hot dog, I will kill you, or something like that.
Yes, he told the new CEO that if he ever raised the price of the hot dog, he'd kill him.
And apparently it worked.
It worked.
That being said, next Saturday is the 4th of July, so I have a feeling my hot dog desire will be sated. I have a feeling I'm not going to want hot dogs for a while after next weekend, because, you know, it's the 4th of July, and there's always hot dogs somewhere.
True, true.
So I'll probably eat like 5 of them in one day and then be like, okay, no more hot dogs for a long time.
Sitting on the tail end of the stream, and I feel like I have not done anything because I've just been looking for green paint.
I've just been painting black lines, so you don't have to leave early today, do you? Or
No, I do in about 5 minutes.
oh, okay, just not 20 minutes
I'm
early.
just
Okay.
gonna cover up my red mess here. Really good.
Just making sure you're not gonna miss anything or get yelled at.
You're right.
Oops. Yeah, they lose money on the hot dog, but well, I don't know if they lose money on the hot dog. You got to remember that like bulk meat like that is incredibly inexpensive for a company to buy. They just probably don't make a lot of money off of it.
Yeah, but after like labor and stuff like that, it is. I'm pretty sure they actually do lose money.
That's
on
fair.
It is what they call a loss leader.
People, I'm so sensitive to that because people use that term a lot with like GW products, and it's like, no, 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 no. Nothing,
There's
nothing
no loss.
GW sells is a loss. It's less expensive. But the 200, people, I think when we most heard that was with the Horus Heresy box, the first one. Oh, it's $700 worth of plastic, and they're only selling it for $250. That means it's a loss leader. It's like, no, that means they've trained you to think that this plastic toy soldiers are worth $700. And look, I buy them too. I'm not. But and nothing they're doing.
Loss means they quite literally cost more than they make.
Yeah.
To make it. So like video games, sometimes consoles were their loss leaders. Like other grocery stores, like rotisserie chickens and stuff like that.
Yeah.
After all of the process to go through it, they technically lose like a few cents or something like that. But they sell it at such volume, and it gets people to like come in the door because some people go to that grocery store for that chicken or that hot dog, or somebody will buy a PlayStation to play games.
Well, it's like gas stations don't make a ton of money on gas. It's a myth that they lose money on gas, but the most convenience stores don't. Their main profit is from the convenience store thing, the things they sell you when you get gas, not the gas itself. They do still make money on gas, but remember when consoles were loss leaders? Did you see the news today about the Xbox?
Yeah, it's going up in price.
Going up $100.
Going up $100, and then the CEO's talking about AI, and then how nobody should own an Xbox in like 5 years, anyways. So
yeah.
it's a big deal.
Well, I mean, that is the goal of AI: is that you own nothing and you rent everything.
I wasn't too thrilled with the Steam Machine price that I was seeing, but after hearing that as a lifelong Xbox player,
the Steam Machine at least
makes
the people have been doing the math on like what it would take to build one from components, and basically you're paying $71 for if you buy a Steam Machine versus building it yourself, and you don't have to build it yourself.
Yeah, and Valve even said like unofficially that it was supposed to be a couple $100 less.
Yeah.
But with AI ruining the RAM and SSD market, basically, yeah, that went out the window really fast.
Yep. So, welcome to the hellscape, everybody. Yay.
Yeah, exactly, Val.
Although, apparently Cody's the opposite of that, because Cody goes in and gets everything except the hot dog he came in for.
Yeah. Well, I'm tempted by the pizza. Their pizza's really good too, and it's also extremely cheap.
My mom has a Costco membership. I need to borrow it, because I've never actually set foot in a Costco.
It's magical.
Yeah, it sounds like I'd love it. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna be like, guys, I'm sorry, but Miniatures Rundown is over. It's now Costco Rundown because I've discovered a new passion in life. Costco hot dog
just
rundown.
borrow it long enough to fill up your new fridge.
There you go. I'm sorry, but Costco hot dog rundown is the name of the channel for April Fool's Day. By the way, I'm putting a pin in that right now. No, sorry, wait. We gotta name it right. $1.50 Costco hot dog rundown.
And remember, if you change price, we'll kill you. For legal purposes, that is a joke.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody talks about how good the Costco pizza is, or how good the hot dog is. Pizza is also really, really good.
I didn't even realize they had pizza. I never heard of this.
Yeah, it's been overshadowed by the hot dog.
Now, to be fair, I'm guessing it's a little more expensive than $1.50.
Yeah, but even then, it's like a couple bucks a slice.
And there are a lot of places that have very good pizza, you know?
Yeah, and like it's not like super great gourmet pizza, but it's like a couple bucks for a New York slice, basically.
Yeah, I think it's because there's a lot of places that do that. Like, you know, you can get a lot of places in the mall. You can go to Sbarro
Right.
and get that same effect.
The Costco toilet. All right. Well, it is that time where I do actually have to go now.
All right, well, thanks for joining as always, Cody.
Thank you for having me, everybody in the chat. Thank you for sticking around.
I will be on for a few more
Just
minutes.
let it be known that Valhalla Melta was in the stream longer than one of the hosts.
Well, that's because he was also here 3 minutes early.
Just to keep that joke going, but yeah. Anyway, I will see you all later.
I'll see you tomorrow for our. Hopefully, see you guys tomorrow too for our post reveal stream.
Absolutely.
All right. Oh, you can order a large pizza. See, a large pizza for $10 to stay home, to bring home. Ooh, that's. Yeah, I need to go convince my mom to take me to Costco with her then. Next time she's around in town. Because, yeah, I'd like to try the legendary Costco hot dog. And stock up on Costco toilet paper. Every time I drive by the local Costco, it is just packed to the gills, which always made me go, ugh, because I'm not anti-crowd or anything like that, but I do get annoyed when I have to go shopping and there's a lot of people. So, but, you know, and that's mostly the gas station, because their gas is very cheap, and obviously with the current gas prices, thanks, other things. U-Square Costco pizza garlic bread. Oh, God. Man, you guys are making me really hungry. Yeah, I mean, honestly, my mom just has a... I forget who else is on it, because I know she has it and her husband has it, and meanwhile, my grandfather, who also lives locally, he has a Sam's Club. He's a Sam's Club man, and my mom's a Costco gal. You know. Somehow they still like each other. Look at those little stripes. See, like, you know, these head stripes are a giant pain in the butt, but they do really look cool when you're done. And it's not hard, it's just tedious, right? Like, it is not difficult for me to do this a billion times. It's just kind of a pain in the butt. Kind of annoying. But it is absolutely worth the effort for, you know, especially with, if you're buying Zone Mortalis tiles, you're not looking to save money, right? Like, you know, these things are not cheap. So the way I see it is, if you're going to spend the initial cash influx on these expensive tiles, because they are, you know, expensive, and too expensive for what they are, if we're being very honest, if you're going to spend the money, put the time in to make them look really good. So that's what we're doing with ours. And we'll have videos coming out about that. We've filmed a lot of it, but I want to finish these before we finish releasing them, although we're almost done. The big problem right now is the weather, because the last thing we need to do involves some spray priming, or some spray varnishing, and I can't, because it's either been so wet that, you know, you shouldn't prime, or it's been so hot that the varnish will start drying before it hits the model, before it hits the plate, and then you get that weird dust, and the last thing you want to do after spending so much time on these is ruin them. Although, pro tip, if you ever accidentally frost your models with a matte varnish, don't panic. Just take some brush-on gloss varnish, put it on there, and that'll reset it. And then you can matte varnish over it. Because basically the frosting is the light getting caught in weird ways because of the matting, and gloss changes the light interaction to undo that. So never panic if you frost your models with matte varnish. It's very hard to ruin models even with matte varnish. So Scotland. Oh gosh, yeah, I've been seeing stuff from we are gonna hit that next week. Next week is when that comes for us here. And yeah, you guys, of course, in Europe in general, but especially the British Isles, just not built. The places you live are not built to handle that heat and that humidity. Because functionally, all houses in the United States are wooden shacks. Like they're not very well insulated, unless they've been very old. But we don't have old houses here, not really. And newer ones are flimsy, which is the upside to that is they're very easy to keep cool. Whereas in lots of Europe, but Britain and Scotland and all that stuff especially, it's like, yeah, this house was built, 40 years ago, or sorry, 100 years ago, and it was built to hold heat in because it was built by people who didn't want to, it wasn't built with the current climate in mind. We don't have that problem. So it is not simply an air conditioning issue. Even adopting massive adoption of air conditioning would not fix it. But so yeah, sympathy for all the European folks out there. Smudgy hasn't appeared today because we assume she melted. I hope she didn't melt. Because yeah, she also, I know, is she's Cornish, right? Or around that area. But yeah, a lot of European friends I have been just not particularly happy. And I live in an upstairs apartment, so next week when it is 105 Fahrenheit here, which I forget what that is in Celsius. Let me see. Multiply by 5/9. So it's like 48 Celsius, I think, ish. I will feel your pain because it is very hot and I live next to a swamp, which means it's wet. In the time of year when all the foreigners come here and start melting and admit we weren't babies. Yeah, no, I long ago stopped any notion of like, oh, the Europeans can't handle the heat. They're just not used to it. Oh, no, that's not the problem. And just the humidity and the ambience is just different in Europe because of the latitude and the winds from. And you see, you're surrounded on three sides by water. If you're in Europe, the Mediterranean, the North Sea, and of course the Atlantic Ocean. Very different than it is here in the States. If you're in the Midwest, where it's just a bunch of land. Just like here in the States, it's very different if you live in Florida. The heat is very different in Florida than it is in Arizona, where it's a very, you hear the term dry heat a lot. And I can confirm, having been to Arizona, but yeah, it's still, yeah, confirm bog witch, still hot as hell there. Like, I went during a summer once to Arizona, and man, it was hot. But because it was so dry, you could step into the shade and it actually made a difference. Like, you actually felt like it wasn't that, you could feel the difference in the shade because it's like, oh, because it's like actually makes a difference. Whereas in wet climates like Florida, which is where I was born, shade doesn't mean a darn thing because the air itself makes it hot and holds heat. Oh no, AC does matter, Duke. I don't mean to say that AC does not matter, but it is not a catch-all fix for the problems that are much deeper than that. In the same way that here in the States, that's the big part is that in a lot of flats and a lot of those old buildings that have been turned into apartments, adding AC to them is just miserable, difficult. Daniel Jenna-Grouse, who is sometimes here on stream, who lives in Central Western Europe. I don't want to give away their location just in case they haven't already. I think they mentioned where they're from, but just in case. Either way, they live in an old apartment building that was, is built during the Soviet era and was not designed for that. And getting AC into their apartment, their flat, is just not something they can do, even if they had the money for it, which is a different problem entirely. Because AC is not ubiquitous, it's very, I believe Arizona threatened to secede from the union last time there was talk of like regulating Freon prices because they knew that it was like, oh god, no, we'll all die. But anyway. All right, well, that is it from me tonight. Besides making these little touch-ups here. I'm probably going to continue working, but I got to go eat. You guys have been talking about... Yeah, dry heat does still suck, Cody. But I personally think it's better than, like, Florida heat, where it's wet and gross. I would have taken that. Granted, I was only there for a few weeks, so maybe I would have gotten sick of it. But I would take that over. Feels like you're swimming. But anyway, I gotta go eat because you guys have been talking about Costco hot dogs and pizza. Now I'm really hungry. I'm not gonna go to Costco, but I am gonna get some. I'm gonna get something to eat. I've got a chicken sandwich. Tomorrow, time of recording, tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, which is basically after the Games Workshop stream, we will be doing our own stream. We decided to do it afterwards instead of a co-stream, because that way, if Games Workshop has technical difficulties again, we don't have to put up with it, because that was really annoying last time. Plus, it gives us more time to digest it and talk about it. So we'll be doing a post-reveal stream. Hope to see you guys there, or see you in the VODs. Otherwise, I'll see you on Sunday when I stream again. Keep in touch for more, of course, Necromunda stuff coming, and all that good stuff. Thank you all for joining once again. I just knocked over my Bitsbox with my leg. Oh, well, I'll clean that up. I will see you all in the future. If you are in a place that is hot, which I think is all of us this coming week, stay cool, stay safe, drink lots of water. You know all that stuff I don't need to tell you. And good luck. Have a nice night, everybody.